How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with another MTGA Historic Brawl video. Today, we're checking out a Golos deck. And we're not just checking out any Golos deck. We're checking out a Golos deck built around one of the new cards from Phyrexial V1. And it's not Atraxa. It could be, though. It could be Atraxa, but it's not. We're actually built around a 2-mana artifact that causes, well, if you get 9 cards that are basic lands and spheres on the battlefield that have different names, you can make a 9/9 with, okay, opponent, you were just done, okay, I see how it is. Well, either way, on to game 2. That was the shortest game in the history of our channel, barring the ones we record where our opponent concedes immediately. But do we count those ones? I don't know if we do. Yeah, I built a lot of decks today. And this deck is a deck from a week ago. And the reason I didn't make a video about it at that time is because the deck is just bad. Full disclosure, the deck is bad. The plan is silly and non-functional, like turning the monument into a 9/9 with, it's not poison. God, what is that called? Toxic 9 is, it's not great. It's not a great plan. Like, for the amount of effort you put into turning that ability of the artifact on, they could have just given you a Blightsteel Colossus, and it would have been the same payoff, right? Or it would have been a slightly better payoff, and it wouldn't have changed the playability of the card at all. This hand looks very similar for some reason. Our opponent doesn't, though. Mindplex. You know, I guess we just might get some Golos auto wins. That could be cool. You know, people see Golos and they're like, I don't really want to play against Golos today. And they just concede, and we don't have to pull off achieving the specific requirements on a janky artifact. That could be nice. I would be down for that. Please don't kill my elk. It just wasn't meant to be. Just wasn't meant to be. Next turn we'll play the Hiveheart Shaman. If we are allowed. We might not be. Supreme Verdict looks pretty silly, but against these type of decks, it might just save our life, which is a sad thing to ruminate on, right? Because we don't really have the mana to use it in any meaningful way. Do you have a 4-mana answer to a Hiveheart Shaman? Hiveheart Shaman tends to be pretty chunky, if I'm being honest. Did you okay. I'm a little worried that they might have foretold a card and then swing at our opponent. I don't really care about Saheeli. She's not a card I'm really interested in. We took the plains because you can only get one type of basic land each, right? And we've already got a forest. So we are not allowed to get another forest, which means we have to get something that we don't have, and we drew a plains, so we're gonna get some spheres just to get them out of the deck. Because the uncommon spheres are pretty bad. So the white sphere and the green sphere. We're getting close. I guess they really want to counter Golos, right? Because Golos is the is the possible win condition that our opponent sees. Take action. So we can only get these 3 now, and I think we'll get a black one because we're not likely to draw the black source. Actually, we should have gotten the island, because then we could have played our island, and that would have been cool. But nope, I guess not. And gonna make a 1/1 for 6 mana. That is technically a 4/4. See if we can draw a card. Decline. We'll do it right next turn. I'm intentionally avoiding the Golos because I want our opponent to use the counterspell on something else. It's a 4/4 bug. It's a real bug. Ouch. 2 damage. I will never recover from this injustice. There's a 1/1. Okay. Swing in. Get the maximum value out of our Hiveheart Shaman. To get the island, like we should have last turn. Can only do this at sorcery speed. This ability is so expensive. But it's what we have to do. And this one? Up to 5. So 1, 2. We don't want any red. Let's eliminate the possibility. So we have to get our Golos down if we want to use Kamal's Druidic Vow. And we're just never going to be allowed to get our Golos down. And in the meantime, we just haven't found our artifact yet. Like, we need the artifact to win. At the moment, we're cosplaying a deck that is really into Hiveheart Shaman. Which, like, if you've seen Hiveheart Shaman, you really shouldn't be into it, because it's not a good card. Some of the cards that come out of Wizards, you look at them and you think to yourself, how? Oh, there it is. This is the game plan of my deck opponent. If you counter this, I will play Golos. I'll do it anyways, but... Resolve. Take action. Golos again. Use every counterspell you have, opponent. The inevitable is here. Look at this. All I need to do to win is attack. Take action. Mountain. My monument to perfection has been turned on. A goal that I never expected to occur within my own lifetime. Supreme Verdict is suddenly looking really good. Hey, opponent. Have you ever heard of Uncounterable Wrath before? Resolve. None of my business. Probably should have waited until after the Wrath, though, because you're going to take 9 poison damage now because you don't have any mana to actually deal with the problem. You didn't even know what the problem was. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. That. Sure. This went surprisingly well. Indestructible Toxic 9/9. Our opponent could have avoided it too. Because if they had saved the mana, we're going to do a game 4. Because we got 11 minutes here. If our opponent had saved their mana for after the Wrath resolved, they could have played the Sync twice when we activated the Monument, and they could have blocked it, and they wouldn't have taken any poison damage. We're up against, I think, a Japanese player. But it could be Chinese. There's a lot of kanji there that is unknown to me. Door to Nothingness is the backup plan because the initial plan is stupid, right? The initial plan of monumenting to perfectioning your way to victory is really dumb. It's not a good plan. I kind of want that because I kind of need the Shadow Prophecy to be good. Our opponent, unfortunately, will not allow it to be good, but, you know, might as well try. It would have been nice if they had made Sphere a basic land type. I know that wouldn't have been good for the game because they made rare spheres. But they could have made some basic spheres too. Up to 2. I will take this one and this one. Yeah, they could have made some basic spheres. And, hey, opponent, have you ever heard of Scoot Swarm? Despite what you may believe, I'm not gonna play, yeah, my greed got the better of me there. I wasn't going to play Golos into an obvious counterspell, but if I had played the land first, I could have paid for the counterspell. And I would have missed out on an insect, but I would have had a resolve. I guess we're searching for 2 lands. Guess not. Opponent. Trying to have fun here. Door to Nothingness. There's no way you counter this one. No way. If you counter this, that means you can see that there's a possibility that I activate it. A Rusko companion is a madman. So the rule of counterspells, right, is if it's going to kill me this turn or the next turn, you counter it. if it can sit on the battlefield for 3 turns and not affect the game, don't counter it. Like, that's the rules, right? I guess it's not really the rules, right? Because there is no real rules to counter Magic. But, like, that's the general ideal, I think. Oh, we dodged a bullet, mate. We dodged a bullet. So, this could have gained control of our land. Right? Like, that could have targeted this. They could have countered our spell and stolen one of our lands. And that would have been very sad if that happened. It would have been very sad. I'm very sad at the moment anyways, but it's unrelated to the loss of my land. It's mainly Rusko's fault, but let's face it, we blame Wizards, right? Like, we're okay with Alchemy adding cool Golem commanders to the game, but when they add a monster to the game, Chulane, for example, that's when we draw the line. Hey, it's an additional counterspell. I could not have predicted this future. You know, it feels proper that a deck that I opened up with calling bad, that went on to literally do its thing within the first 15 minutes of the video, ends off with just a brutal takedown of by a actual commander. Your clocks are gone now, Mr. Maker. How will you continue? Let's ignore the fact that he also says each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so the fact that his ability is tied to a permanent that may or may not be on the battlefield is rendered completely irrelevant from the fact that there's also just a random storm effect on him. Very cool. What do you do? Counter? That is no different than any other turn during this game. Watch. I'm going to sacrifice a land, and my opponent is going to... Well, actually, this one doesn't say it's an additional cost. Yeah, no, this is exactly how the game went. Yeah. Well, Golos, you tried your best, buddy. I'm proud of you either way. We didn't cast you once, which is kind of on par with how we've been running lately. I did cast Nahiri yesterday, so I guess that makes it a little bit better. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.